yesterday at the conference, Mo Ibrahim raised Nigeria and the pollution in the Niger Delta there, and called out Shell as contributing to the situation. What do you think is going on there with the pollution in the Niger Delta? What is the cause, and what could be done about it?
Yeah. Nigeria is a very complex situation, but I think if you kind of peel the onion, it comes down to poverty, lack of jobs, social services and corruption. That we see actually the country struggling to actually make best use of its revenue flows. Now I think as an oil and gas company like Shell, we can contribute in the best way actually by doing our job properly, i.e. means we generate revenues for the government so that they actually can distribute it across the world. Now that has been quite problematic over the last few years because of sabotage, theft and violence. So for example on the spill side, if I just take 2009, 98% of our spills in the Niger Delta were actually caused by sabotage and or theft. Now, by Nigerian law, we have the obligation to clean it up, irrespective of the cause, which we do. But I can only do this if our staff are actually allowed to go into these areas and they're actually secure. Because I will not send people in if they're under threat in that sense.
What does it say about the economic situation in Nigeria that there are these saboteurs, and why aren't they being enriched by the oil in the region? What's keeping that from happening?
Shell has, over the last 5 years, for example, delivered $39 billion to the central government in terms of revenues, in terms of, let's say, royalties and taxes. And they're also direct majority shareholders, so they have much more actually coming in. Now, these funds are most probably not used in the best way across the Niger Delta in order to actually increase, let's say, the living standards, give jobs and work. Now, as Shell, we try to do as much as possible. We have a very high local content, so when we actually use materials or engineering jobs, we do it in Nigeria. But we cannot be stepping into the shoes of the government. We can deliver the revenues so that these can be done. Now we do a lot of social projects as well out of our local company, but there is a limit to how much you can do there. So I think this is a stakeholder issue where the government, the oil and gas companies, the local people from the Delta and others need to work together in order to actually improve long-term living standards. I mean, if you look at the current oil price, if you have theft of crude oil, these are rich people by now because you can get a lot of money.
Right.
Now, they are transformed into arms, into ammunition, and that causes us actually quite a bit of problems on the sabotage side. But I have to say the Nigerian government, through their amnesty program, is making some good steps forward. It's a fragile amnesty arrangement still, but let's hope that in the longer term we can keep it going so that we can actually increase production again, which means more revenues for the government, which means more revenues for the Delta states as well. So this is a kind of a vicious circle which we need to break.